Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back, I'm not going anywhere. Peace. Peekaboo, I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available on Christmas 2022, the album, Dad, Shimmy Shimmy, AF, Rock on Roll Dust. Peace. Woman. Happy Sunday. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so let me put on a little bit of lip gloss. I'm a little nervous to make this video, and let me tell you why. As you saw from the title, this video is about Nikita Dragun, but it's about so much more than that. And I stayed up late last night, and I got up today, and I was writing notes down, and I was bookmarking things because there's so much that I want to say in this video. Things that I feel like are important to me to say and to address and to get out. So I wanted to make sure that I had it all aligned, and I'm kind of a little nervous that I'm not going to get it out the way that I want it to. So just bear with me. I'm just going to talk to you guys today. We're just going to sit down and have a conversation, and I'm just going to share with you some feelings about some things. But before I do, I want to say a very special thank you to AdamandEve.com for sponsoring yet another video on this channel. Y'all know I love AdamandEve.com. They've been so kind to continue to work with me month after month and to believe in me. And they've been so fantastic. And I get all the emails from you guys that say, oh my God, you know, like my husband and my wife, we sat down together and we ordered some stuff. Or, you know, like my friends and I, we ordered stuff. Or I just ordered stuff for myself. Thank you so much for your code. And every month, I kind of go in and I try to figure out which video to pick to do the Adam and Eve sponsorship for. And when I was planning this video, I honestly thought that I would post the Adam and Eve sponsorship closer to Thanksgiving, you know? And when I was planning out this video, and I know that I'm going to be talking about several things to do with the LGBT community, I thought this is the perfect video to do the Adam and Eve sponsorship with, because Adam and Eve donates 20% of all of their proceeds to the fight and prevention of HIV and AIDS around the world, which is phenomenal, right? And so with all of your purchases out there using my code Peter, 20% of those purchases, 20% of their proceeds go to the prevention and fight of HIV and AIDS around the world. And I love any kind of business that has a mission, and especially, you know, a mission like this, I think is fantastic. And so for that reason, I wanted to make this the video that I included that sponsorship in. So thank you so much, Adam and Eve. And if not for that, that should be reason enough to go check them out and, you know, throw them some of your money. And then you're helping out too, right? And then you're helping out as well. And so anyway, thank you again, AdamandEve.com, for sponsoring this video. Okay, let's get into talking about the things that I want to talk about today. There are so many things. Well, let me kind of explain what happened. So I saw that Nikita Dragun had put out kind of an ambiguous statement on Twitter, which I'll tell you about in just a second. She has since put out a statement, a written statement on Instagram, which I'm going to read to you here in just a second. So that was kind of where my video started, okay? And then last night, if you don't know what happened last night, there was a shooting in Colorado Springs at a gay bar. I think that the name of the bar is Q Club. Hold on a second. I want to make sure that I get this correct. The name of the bar is Club Q. And there were 5 killed and 18 injured after a shooting there last night. And I'm seeing all of these tweets on Twitter, you know, in between all of these things about the fact that today is the Transgender Day of Remembrance. And I'm also seeing all these posts about Candace Cameron Bure from Full House and how she's left the Hallmark Channel in part and parcel, not completely, she won't completely own it because she can't, for the fact that they are doing a same-sex couple Christmas movie, you know? And I'm seeing all of this, and I'm thinking to myself, I really didn't expect to get real emotional in this video. I just didn't, but I'm thinking to myself as, you know, a gay, proud, married man that has been out for 32 years, like, we seem to have taken some steps back. You know, like, we have seemed to be taking some steps back. You know, it seems like it was just a couple years ago that we were talking about love is love is love, you know, and love is greater than hate. What has happened to that sentiment, you know? So that's kind of what started all of this for me. And so I kind of wanted to address each of those issues and talk about each of those things. If you don't know what I'm talking about with the Nikita Dragun situation, hold on a second. I just want to read this article to you that will kind of update it from you. I think it's from National Public Radio. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, so a transgender beauty influencer was put in a men's jail after her arrest in Miami. Social media influencer Nikita Dragun is legally female. She was temporarily placed in the men's unit of a Miami jail after she was arrested for allegedly causing a disturbance and walking around a hotel pool naked. And it's this article by NPR, and it's like a very long article, and then it goes on to say that she is out now. And it says, this has been a problem in Miami previously. 3 transgender people filed a lawsuit against Miami-Dade County for abuse they allegedly faced in 2020 when they too were misgendered. Dragun reportedly asked a judge during her hearing whether she had to remain in the men's unit. I don't make the rules up there, the judge said, according to Local 10. And then it says that she was released after this situation. Okay, so this was like a huge issue on social media, right? When I initially did this video, I just kind of like reported about Nikita being arrested. And at that time in the video, what I said was that I hadn't seen the police report, but that there were allegations that she had been misgendered on the police report, okay? So I didn't know anything, and I got all of these comments from people that were like, why aren't you addressing the fact that she was put in the wrong jail, yada, 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 this is so unsafe, this is so scary for her. I didn't know about it at that time, right? Which is why I didn't address it in that video. The other question that I got on that video was, there were quite a few comments on there, which I have to say, I'm kind of confused as to why anybody would come to an out and proud gay man's YouTube channel and feel like it is okay to leave transphobic comments, and that this is the place that you're gonna feel comfortable doing that. Like, that's confusing to me, you know? It really, really is. It reminds me actually of Gigi Gorgeous, like, years ago, addressing hate on, like, her channel when she originally started her channel, and she was like, you know, like, people leave these comments about, like, you're just a boy in makeup or whatever, why are you doing this, you're a freak, and she's like, you know, did you seek out, like, ESPN channels? Because I can tell you that's not what I'm tagging my channels, right? So for people to come to a video like that and then leave transphobic comments is very, did you watch even 5 seconds of my video? Like, I don't know, like, it just astounded me that people felt comfortable to leave transphobic comments on my video, right? But, you know, we live in 2022, and I guess nothing should surprise me at this point. The reason I left it up, because a lot of people were questioning, why are you not deleting these comments? Why are you allowing them to remain, okay? Is because, you know, my mother, as she taught me, that there was a, I talked to her at one point about people calling me names. My mom cited a statement by Malcolm X's wife, Betty Shabazz, that Betty Shabazz said when somebody asked her, what do you do when you get called a certain name? And she said, when I walk down the street and people call me that name, I raise my head up high because I refuse to be a victim of their oppression. So when I read those comments on my videos, that's not my ignorance, that's theirs. And that just showcases and spotlights their ignorance, okay? So no, I'm not gonna delete those comments. People can have their say in the comment sections of my videos, and if they wanna look the fool all day long, okay? But the times, they are a-changin'. And you can either get with the times or you can stick with the past. I don't really care. But, you know, I very rarely say this on my channel, but I am gonna say it today. If you are against anything to do with the LGBT community, this is probably not the channel for you, okay? And I would happily see you right out the door, because I don't want anybody over here that is not an ally of the LGBT community. I just don't, okay? And I'm starting to get a little heated about this, because it's like, I think it's really, really time, you know, that all of the people in the LGBT community stand up and start saying, we are proud of who we are and living out loud. And in fact, I want to share this quote that the Boulet brothers, who started Dragula, they just put this out on Twitter. And it says, the mass shooting in Colorado Springs is another painful reminder of how integral it is for all of us to live out loud and to push for representation, respect, and equality at every opportunity. Hateful, divisive rhetoric cannot be tolerated in a free and forward-thinking society. When I get on social media and I read about this being God's plan and all of this BS out there, okay? You want to talk about getting angry. I don't feel filled with hate, but it does make me angry because I feel like we have fought so hard to get where we are. You know, I saw another comment and it was like, people have pushed us so far out of society that the only place we feel comfortable is in a gay bar, and then they come in there and they don't make us feel comfortable, you know? It's like, there's no sense to it. So to get back to the Nikita Dragun thing, Nikita Dragun, she put up on her Twitter account yesterday, she put up a video, and it was her getting in and out of this hot tub and whatever, and then she posted a picture of a screenshot of her California driver's license. It expired in 2021. A lot of people underneath there commented. I don't think it matters, but anyway. And it says on there female, okay? And if you look on the ID, which I'm not going to show in here, but because I don't know if you can show IDs on, even though she posted it, the ID says female underneath there, that she is legally female. And so it begs the question, then why was she put in this men's jail in Miami-Dade County, which is one of the most dangerous jails in the country, okay? She has also come out and she has put a statement on Instagram, and the statement says, I want to thank everyone for the outpouring of love and support recently. I've always been open with you guys about my journey, and there is an appropriate time for that. But oftentimes, the best way to heal and grow is to do so privately. So I will be off social media for a while in order to take care of my mental health and overall well-being. I love you all, and we'll see you soon. And Nikita, I wish you the best. I absolutely wish you the best. I can't even imagine. You know, and I want people to know that's not me saying that I condone or take away what she did to get arrested in any way, shape, or form. That's not the issue. The issue is that she was put in a men's jail. And, you know, there were such polarizing comments about this when I read online, like when I read on Twitter and I read other places on Instagram and people were talking about it. There were such polarizing comments. You know, there were so many comments of love and support that, I mean, just mass amounts of comments that people were like, this is so wrong. She should never have been put in, you know, a men's jail. This is so wrong. This is so dangerous. This is life-threatening, blah, 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 right? And then there were other people that were saying, well, this is totally what you deserve. This is, you know, where you're supposed to be, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to repeat those statements because they're ignorant, like I said, okay? They're ignorant, period. One of the comments that I saw that was common was that Nikita has never done anything to be a good representative of the trans community, and she has never helped anybody in the trans community. And I was kind of baffled, and it was several people that were trans that made this comment, right? So I guess I shouldn't challenge their experience. What I will say is this, okay? And I do want to talk about this in reference to the Candace Cameron Bure thing, okay? About her leaving the Hallmark Channel because she doesn't feel that, well, part of this is she alleged that she wants to stick with more traditional family values of marriage, okay? Which basically, a same-sex couple having a Christmas movie is not traditional family values, okay? God forbid we have a gay Christmas movie out there. I thought we already had Single All the Way or whatever on Netflix, okay? But I want to address this, okay? To Candace Cameron Bure, who I'm sure is not watching my channel, but if she is, this is directly to you, gal, okay? As a teenager that never watched your bore-ass show, except to maybe watch John Stamos because he was hot as sin, but as a teenager that would look for representation anywhere I could possibly find it because I was so closeted and so afraid of my own sexual identity that I didn't really know who I was or what I was or if that was okay or whatever. I can remember standing in bookstores like B. Dalton and Walden Books, and that the gay and lesbian fiction section would be about that long, and there would be about 6 books in there, and they would be in between the sexuality and the psychology books. And so the books you would get would be like the Kama Sutra of gay sex, and it would be right next to a book like Maurice, okay? And that was my ability to identify with anybody that had any kind of representation. So if you can imagine a 15-year-old kid standing in a bookstore trying to find his identity, okay, in a book because he loves to read, and it is sitting in front of him in the Kama Sutra of gay sex, what that immediately does is programs a shame and guilt of dirtiness inside of that 15-year-old kid, okay? If I had had a Christmas movie on the Hallmark Channel that showed a healthy gay couple, I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine what I may have been capable of, okay? Let alone the amount of young adult books, graphic novels, like the Heartstopper novels by Alice Oseman. I mean, that's been now made into a series on Netflix. You know, I mean, all of the young adult books that are out there now, I could just read them off to, you know, the Love Simon movie, the Love Victor TV show. I mean, there are so many great books and movies out there of the LGBT community, right? And not in just talking about my gay experience, but in talking about trans experience, bisexual experience, okay? You know, and people talking about being asexual, all kinds of identification. And I think at this point, it is really, really important for us to talk about the differentiation between gender and sexuality because we all get lumped together, right? And if you want to do a little bit of a history lesson, the reason that we all get lumped together, because there is a huge difference between gender and sexuality, okay? The reason we all get lumped together, if you go back and you want to do a little bit of a history lesson, is because it was those transgender women that were fighting for gay men's rights early back in the day. And maybe, just maybe, it's our time to repay the favor a little bit, you know? Maybe, just maybe, it's time for us to repay the favor. Maybe it's time for us all to come together, you know, come together as one united front and say, enough already. We're done with the shootings. We're done with the ignorant statements. We're going to live out and proud. If you don't like it, forget you, okay? We're done with you. But we're going to live out and proud, and we're going to be who we want to be, you know? I was reading some of these statistics last night, and I want to share some of these with you before I get too far in this video, but I wanted to share some of these with you that, hold on a second, one of them is that transgender women are nearly always incarcerated with men, and this was out of 2020. Out of 4,890 transgender straight prisoners, NBC News was able to confirm only 15 cases in which a prisoner was housed according to their lived identity. Okay, transgender incarcerated people in crisis, and it talks again about people that are incarcerated by their wrong identified gender, and it goes on and on. Trans women are still incarcerated with men, and it's putting their lives at risk. This is from 2021. 59% of transgender prisoners reported having been sexually assaulted within a California correctional facility. You know, when we talk about this, and hold on a second, I want to share these statistics with you as well, because I just posted these on my Instagram. Hold on a second. Let me get this post up. Some statistics, and this is about Transgender Day of Remembrance. 85% of these victims, and these are of all the victims that have died, 85% of these victims are people of color. 77% have been under the age of 35. 69% of deaths involve a firearm. 15 people, and this is out of 32 that were killed in the last year, were killed by police or while incarcerated in jails, prisons, or ICE detention centers, including 2 and 22 alone. In 40% of cases, the killer remains unknown or still at large. Of those with a known killer, 65% were killed by a person they knew. 70% of those killed were initially misgendered by the media and by the police. You know, when you look at that, it's such a bigger issue than just one person's story. My hope is, and it's not ever my place to tell somebody what to do with their story, you know? I think anybody that watches my videos knows that I am extremely, extremely passionate about a few things. And that is LGBTQ rights, and that is also addiction and mental health, that I am extremely, extremely, as a person in recovery and as a gay male, you know, those are things that I am extremely, extremely passionate about. But it's never mine to tell somebody else what to do with their story. There were a lot of comments that Nikita said, or that Nikita would end up using this for like a video or a story or whatever. I hope she does. I hope Nikita comes out and does tell the stories of the other 32 people that died this year. I hope Nikita comes out and uses her platform, because this is the thing, right? I saw all of these comments about people talking about how this was so horrible that Nikita had been put in a men's jail, which I personally believe that it was, okay? You believe how you want to believe. I personally believe that it was. But what about the other people? What about the other 4,800 people that are being, you know, placed in jails that are dangerous to them? Can we talk about them as well? Are their stories important? I hope that we're not forgetting them. You know, and just because Nikita is a public reputation, is a public person, that all this attention, she should get that attention. She should, right? But I hope that she ends up doing something and with her story, and she turns her wounds into wisdom. Not tomorrow, not next month, not maybe 6 months from now, but down the road when she feels healthy enough to do that and tell her story. I hope that she's able to do that to help other people. You know, and the one thing I do want to say is this, and this is what I was going to talk about with the Candace Cameron Bure situation with representation. You know, for those people out there that say that Nikita really hasn't done a lot for the trans community and whatever, I think it's really easy to kind of like poke fun when, you know, Nikita's like very fashionable and she's like pussy stunting around Miami and all that kind of stuff, right? But here's the thing. You don't ever know what someone needs to see to instill hope in their life, okay? I don't know, looking back at myself at 15 years old, what I needed to see in a television show or a movie, okay? I don't know. I do know that what it was that I didn't need to see every gay male character dying of AIDS in a television show made for movie, okay? Made for movie television show. That wasn't it, okay? Dying on Mayflower Lane and all those movies, that did not help me feel hopeful, okay? At all. That scared the hell out of me, you know? Scared the absolute hell out of me. Maybe what a lot of trans people need to see is Nikita. Maybe they need to see the fact that somebody can go and be successful and have an amazing career and do something with their life and be pussy stunting in Miami. Maybe that is hope to them. I don't know. And that's not mine to judge. And neither is it yours. You know? Just by Nikita existing and sharing her journey online may be helping one person. And if one person... The suicide rate is so incredibly high with transgender people. My battery died just as I was getting to the juice of the fruit. Anyway, like I was saying, if just one person sees Nikita and her story, and they have hope as a result of that, she's done her job, you know? She's shared enough out there to help with that, you know? And I think that we don't really understand that sometimes. It's that idea of, I see you. I get you. I am you, right? Like, that's enough, you know? I don't know, this whole situation makes me so absolutely sad. And I know that there are a lot of people over here today watching this video that are so confused and are like, God, Peter's so heated about this. Damn right I'm heated. I am. You know, I was thinking to myself right as I sat down to this. I came out to my mother on my birthday, June 29th, you know, of 1990. I had just graduated from high school and I was turned 18 years old that day. And I remember sitting there with my mom, bleeding heart liberal, you know, and had a lot of gay friends, my mom did. And she said to me, when I came out to her, she said, I'm scared for you. And I thought she meant because I was, you know, gonna contract AIDS or whatever. And I said something about that. And she goes, and I even think now, looking back on this, how forward thinking that was of my mom. She said, if that happens, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. She goes, what I'm talking about is that society is not kind to gay people. And I'm scared for you. And I think here we are, 32 years later, you know, and 5 people are dead last night. And 18 others are injured. And probably 100 people's lives are affected. You know, and we have to have a day of remembrance for people that have been killed just because of their gender. And I'm like, what is going on in the world? You know? It breaks my heart, and I think society, my mom was right, is not kind to gay people. But I hope that one day it gets better. And I have to believe it will. I have to believe it will. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.